Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, episode 158 of the American Reveille podcast, and far left actor John Cusack has come out trashing America another time. He's done this a bunch of times before. There's a whole list of elite Hollywood celebrities that are out of touch, that are woke, that talk a bunch of crap about this country. But this time it sparked a little something in my brain, and it made a correlation for me, and it made me realize that not a lot of people understand how class structure works in America, all right? Especially the people that occupy those class structures. And I think that it's good information. It's really empowering. And so if I can explain it to you while using this article as a basis, this one we found here, actor John Cusack trashes America. We aren't great. We're effing awful. Which is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous premise. But if I can use this article to springboard a conversation about class structure, about understanding how people perceive data, perceive information, how that data gets to them, and we can talk through this a little, maybe we can come to a little bit of understanding, and maybe we can expose these frauds for who they really are. Folks, pay attention. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, episode 158 of the American Reveille podcast, talking today about class structure, talking about these jackassy Hollywood celebrities, these elites, as people like to call them, these people that millions and millions of folks around the country and around the world look up to for some reason, unbeknownst to me. We must be surrounded by silly, silly, silly people, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor. All right, if this is the first time watching the American Reveille podcast, listening to the American Reveille podcast, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That's very important. We really, really appreciate it. I would like it if you do that. It doesn't matter much on some of the sites like YouTube and even Rumble. To an extent, just because you have to bring exterior sources, you have to bring people from the outside to stimulate the algorithm to actually monetize your videos, to actually be put into the Rumble so that people actually see them. So unless I'm bringing 100,000 extra people to their site, I'm somewhere on the bottom of the totem pole. It's an uphill battle for us little guys out there, but we do the best we can. So please, please, please support us however you can. Like us, follow, subscribe, comment, talk to us, interact with us, join the community. Go in the description section below, subscribe to the newsletter, check the website out. We're everywhere, all right? American_Reveille on all of the social media sites, especially the alt tech sites, the Gabs, the Parlors, the MeWes of the world, American_Reveille. I would really, really, really appreciate it. I would personally appreciate it if you would follow along and be a part of this community. Guys, I want to talk about class structure today. I want to talk about this, and even though we're going to use this article as a basis, this John Cusack jackass, I guess I already cursed, as a basis, the real thing I want to talk about is class structure. You see, there's a lot of layers, all right, in this country. It's a very, very, very tall stacked sandwich. In fact, people don't really drill down to this level. But if you think about it, and if you base it, say, on the amount of money people make, right, and the type of lifestyle they live, and how they basically exist on a day-to-day basis, people don't understand, all right, the lifestyles of other people. People don't understand, depending on what part of this class structure totem pole we're going up, people don't understand each other, all right? People become much more susceptible to BS, to garbage, to nonsense, to propaganda at the higher levels. That's why we notice all of these wealthy people, these high-class people, woke, these middle upper class, young people, woke, the people that don't actually live in the neighborhoods, the people that don't actually struggle for money, woke. Have you seen a poor woke person lately? The people burning cities. All right. Those people, those are like middle-class white kids, all right, that don't know any better, that were raised in a ridiculous world, of social media, a ridiculous world of families having to scratch for a living and sticking their kids in daycare 24/7. All right. When you let the world raise your kids, this is the product. What I'm talking about is in poor neighborhoods. All right. When you look in the hoods, or when you look in just mixed race neighborhoods of impoverished people of all levels, people making $35,000 a year and less. Crap, in today's world, $50,000 a year and less. And that's only going to get you a small apartment at that rate. Guys, those people aren't woke. I haven't met one. Maybe some of the idiot kids of those people, but I haven't met one person in a certain tax bracket, all right, the one that I'm talking about. I haven't met one that's spouting out this woke nonsense. In fact, a lot of them critique it. They hate it. They speak up against it, or they're scared to speak up against it because they don't make enough money to risk losing their job. That's another big deal that nobody talks about. So you look at somebody that makes $40,000 or $50,000 a year. All right. That person's living in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, not in the best neighborhood. And remember, it depends where you're listening from. All right. I'm going to give you another news flash if you don't know already. If you're living in middle America, your cost of living is going to be cheaper. All right. Every state is like its own little country. I want to put something into perspective for you. All right. Germany is like the same size as Georgia or something like that. It's a couple little states. All right. Make up the size of, like, people don't know the size of countries, the size of states anymore. They don't understand the reference. They don't know global geography. They don't know what you can watch these Kate Safe Space videos of her walking down boardwalks asking kid where this country is, where's that. They have no idea. Nobody knows anything. Everybody's too busy staring at their phone. So you have to understand the sizes of these countries that we're talking about. All right. So you look at our country, you look at how every single state has its own economy, its own minimum wage, its own everything. You take that into consideration when you look and talk about big government versus small government and stuff like that. But you look at what these states do. You see that they have their own economies, okay? And you see that they have their own effect on people. And you have to put it together or you're just as bad as the left, all right? Because they like to play with words and realities. But you're smarter than that. You have to understand that somebody living in Georgia or somebody living in Kentucky or rural Alabama is going to have a lower cost of living and a different type of lifestyle than somebody living in, say, San Diego or San Francisco, or a conservative living in New York trying to make a living doing what they're doing. They're stuck in these wretched places with these wretched rules. They can't get out. People get trapped. All right. It's hard to believe. I have a lot of friends in some of the flyover states, all right? And I love the flyover states. I'm trying to move over there. Trust me. I'm trying to get the hell out of Washington State. Trust me. We're just taking care of some legal stuff. But guys, you have to understand, you really do, that we are trapped in these blue states, all right? They have a stranglehold on people, and people get trapped in their class structures, and people then don't understand each other. All right. It creates these huge language barriers. So say you've got these people, we make $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000. All right. We kind of get each other. We have different levels from the trailer park to the 2-bedroom apartment to the tiny house in the bad neighborhood. All right. Look at today's house prices. You know what BlackRock is doing. Look at today's house prices. Do you really think somebody making $50,000 a year can afford a house? No, they cannot. No, they cannot. So then we move up. All right. And you look 75, 100,000 a year. All right. You're still seeing it. You still go to the store. You still pick up your groceries. This is the same all the way up to like 200,000 a year. All right, guys. But if you're making 200,000 a year, you have a nice house, you're living in a suburban neighborhood somewhere, most likely, or a decent apartment in the city, or however it is. All right. You probably have a decent position of power. All right. There aren't any jobs that pay $200,000 a year. All right. That aren't executive positions or some sort of chief engineer or something like that. All right. So that's a different lifestyle altogether. Listen. All right. I make in the 50 to 100K range. All right. It's taken me a long time to get there. I've tarred roofs. I've done landscaping. I've cleaned bathrooms and toilets. Trust me, I've done everything. So I've busted my ass to get to this point. All right. There are people I work with in my industry. All right. That make upwards of $250,000 a year. If I explain my struggles to them, they look at me puzzled. How many of you work in an environment? How many of you are a receptionist or say a technician or just something like that, where you would be in a position where you're doing decent, but you're working with people that do way better, and you're looking like, man, I want to get over to that side. I've been there. I'm there right now. Right? You're doing that. Those people, they don't get it. And you sit there sometimes like, man, they just don't get it. That's where this whole idea of privilege is playing off of. They're playing off of the different class structures, right? They're playing off of the different class structures and pitting them against each other. Oh, it's bull crap that they don't understand my struggles. That's not fair. Why do they have this and I don't? And they're doing that on every rung of the ladder. They're doing that on every rung of the ladder. The person that makes $200,000 a year, they don't get how the person that makes $50,000 a year lives. They kind of get the $100,000 a year. But at the same time, they're much closer than the millionaire. All right. The millionaire that hasn't had to drive a car for themselves in a long time. All right. Or, well, even the billionaire that who knows what they even do. There's probably somebody that wipes their butt for them. All right. There are so many different classes. All right. John Cusack at this point is a D-list freaking guy. Nobody cares about him, but he's amassed a fortune. He's amassed a fortune, and he has a lot of influence. And we got to see during COVID how insane these elites are. They're out of their mind. They're insane. Okay, but they aren't people that should be respected. This is the confusing part about this for a lot of people. They look up to people like this, like his opinion means something, like he's super smart or anything like that. He's not. He just belongs to a different class structure. All right. So you get to see how people like this, they're out of their minds because they had no movies. They had nothing to do. So they all got on Twitter and ran their damn mouths. They ran their mouths and people got to go, oh man, John Cusack's out of his friggin' mind. All right. And is he out of his mind, or is it just the class structure? I want you to understand, he's made $50-60 million. Do you really think he's seen a hard day in a long time? Do you really think that he's lived in a bad neighborhood, or he's lived in an area with a lot of racial tension between people? Do you really think he's talked to those people? Do you think he's had to wait online for anything? Do you think he's had to worry about his bills? Do you think he's had to pay for anything that really affected him in any way whatsoever in a very long time, if ever? Do you really think, and here's where your mind's going to get blown, do you really think he gets the same news as you and I? Do you really think his social media ads are tailored like they're tailored to you and I? Or do you think he gets ads for diamonds and jewels and things that spark his... He can afford a yacht. You don't think he gets yacht ads on his Facebook compared to you and I? Guys, there's a lot we need to learn and a lot we need to spread information-wise that people don't talk about. The person that makes $100,000 a year gets different commercials on their phone than the person that makes $30,000 a year. The person that makes $100,000 a year gets different commercials on their phone than the person that makes $150,000, that makes $200,000, $250,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1,000 bazillion million dollars. All right, guys. Every couple freaking zeros, it changes. All right. It's crazy, but it's true. I might not be saying it in super technical terms because I'm trying to speak to the layman, but I'm telling you, John Cusack gets different news than you do. All right. If I make $70,000 a year and you make $40,000 a year, and I can afford, say, a used car, but maybe, like a pickup truck, like a nice pickup truck just used, and say you make $30,000 a year and you can afford a hoopty, you're going to get an ad for Car Trek Big Joe's tow lot. You know, the people that if you don't pay their loan, they're going to come break your legs with a bat. And I'm going to get a weird CarMax ad. My credit's going to get screwed. It's going to be a horrible loan with like a 26% APR, you know, but I'm not going to have to go to the shiesty place. So with that being said, what makes you think that you get the same news, that you get the same information? All right. This is how the left is winning this information war. Since they control the media and they control big tech and they control all the outlets of information, they are feeding, all right, and this is true, look it up. They are feeding incorrect and different data, manipulated information, tailored information to different people. This is to everybody. It's based upon your profile, they have that AI, all right, that basically decides how to best figure out what you're thinking, how to best figure out what you're doing, to how to sell you stuff using their ads. All right. If they know you make $100,000 and they know your neighbor makes $50,000, guess what? You're getting different news, guys. You're getting different news. You're getting different ads. You're getting different everything. Wake up. That is the secret. That's the secret sauce. All right, guys, I want you to really think about that. Think about that for a second. Do you have any idea? Don't even think millionaire. $622,000 a year. All right. What do you do for a living right now? Huh? You work at the Walmart auto shop? I've worked at a Walmart auto shop. I can say that. I have no shame in that. Do you work in retail? Do you do online sales? Are you in marketing? Are you an engineer? Are you a doctor? What are you? What do you do? I want you to think about that. If you're doing something different than somebody you know, I want you to think about their life, their experiences, all right? And compare them to yours. I want you to try to pick out the differences. I want you to think about even better. Next time you hang out with somebody of a different class structure, nothing wrong with this. This is I'm speaking in technical terms. All right. I know people are going to freak out when they hear speak with somebody of a different class structure. I'm looking at it scientifically. I'm not like looking at your buddy like he's of a different. All I'm saying is we all get to these different points of our life. We work hard. At least some of us do. Right. John Cusack, maybe not. All right. And we land in these places. It doesn't mean that we can't be friends with each other because we have friends of all different places. I have friends that make a ton more money than me. And I have friends that make a ton less money than me. All right. This is how it goes. So if I'm looking at that, if I'm looking at some of my friends that make more, if I'm looking at some that make less, next time you're around them, take a look at their phones. See if you guys can do a little experiment. All right. Scroll through the same sites. All right. Look at each other's phones, hang out with each other, look at each other's phones, crack a beer, take a while and just test the differences. Take a look at the differences in what's being advertised to them, where they're redirected to, what the search results are on their phones. I promise you're going to be shocked with the results. You really are. It's crazy. But I want you, if you didn't know that before, I want you to know now. A lot of people, when I tell this, their minds are blown. They really start freaking out about the Big Brother aspect of this. And they should. You should be worried that these corporations know so much about you and they're manipulated by the Democrat Party and the radical left. And they can literally manipulate entire classes of people. The ramifications of this, the real thing that I'm saying here is that under the control of the Democrats and of the radical left, big tech, all right, and the media have literally radicalized these people. They've made them woke by using our class structures against each other so that they could infiltrate and hopefully eventually destroy our class structures to bring forth the Marxist socialist utopia. All right. That's what this whole Great Reset crap is all about. That's why they're trying to make us a nation of renters. That's why they're trying to make you eat plant-based food and do what the government tells you to do. There's a very ominous plan, folks. There's a very ominous plan. Does your stomach hurt yet? Is this stuff making you stressed out? I want to tell you real quick. Check this out. I got a new flavor of Life Change tea. See that right there? That's pomegranate. All right. I've been peddling this Life Change tea for a while now, but because I like it, because it works, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm going to tell you. This Life Change tea is great. I've been drinking the mint flavor. I've been drinking the regular flavor. I finally ordered. I didn't even want something for free. I literally paid the money. I used my promo code. I went to getthetea.com. I paid for this wonderful Life Change tea. I'm super excited to try this pomegranate flavor. All right. And they're so cool that they're like, nah, we're one of your sponsors. They comped me. They refunded me the money. I want to say thank you for that, by the way. But I've been drinking this since they started sponsoring me for a couple months now, and it has worked. All right. Life Change tea. It says right even here on the bag, help maintain your health, cleanse your body from intruders, maintain a healthy colon and digestion. It maintains your ideal body weight. I've lost like 20 pounds since I started drinking Life Change tea. Really, I've got stomach issues. I really do. I actually have a CT scan coming up next week because I may have this hernia where my stomach is like coming through it. It's been causing me issues, and drinking this has actually helped me. It's really helped me. I had some real stomach issues before I started drinking this. This has actually brought me relief. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. It's got, what is this? Organic blessed thistle herb and malva leaf and marshmallow leaf and all these different things that clean out your digestion gently. Your intestines get scrubbed down gently. All right. Any rotting meat you got stored up there, and we've all heard that story before, but it's true. It's gonna come out. It's going to come out, but it's not going to come out like Hiroshima. It's not going to come out like a tidal wave. It's not going to come out like the Maelstrom in Pirates of the Caribbean. No, it's going to be gentle. It's going to be easy. This stuff makes you feel good. It makes you feel clean. It makes you feel empty. And it really, really does the job. That's why I ordered another bag of it. All right. Getthetea.com. Promo code James gets you free shipping and handling. It's not hard to make. You put it in like 2 cups of boiling water. All right. You let it get all ready. You put it on the counter and let it steep. It's called steeping. You let that soak in for 8, 9, 10 hours, something like that. You pour that into a jug. You fill it up, 1 gallon, stick that in the fridge, nice and cold. You got yourself some iced tea, a glass or 2 of that a day, ladies and gentlemen. You will feel like a new man or woman. All right. You'll feel like a new man or woman. I stand by it. I put my name by it. Life Change Tea. All right. Getthetea.com. Promo code James gets you free shipping and handling. Don't forget to like this podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast. I'm going to start reading this article right now. This is actor John Cusack trashes America. We aren't great. We're effing awful. And one thing I do have to say, take a look at John Cusack. He looks like garbage. He looks like hammered dog shit, doesn't he? Look at him. He looks like, do you remember the movie Judge Dredd? Not the new one, the one with Sylvester Stallone. Yeah. You know that one. And what was it? Armand Asante, right? I like Armand Asante from the Odyssey. He did like that TV special where he did the Iliad and the Odyssey or something like that. But anyway, back on topic, Armand Asante played the bad guy who was making the clone army. All right, that clone army, not the one from Star Wars, the one from Judge Dredd, those clones. I want to show you. He literally looks like he's melting. John Cusack looks like crap. He looks just like this. Look at this thing. That is disgusting. That looks like a veiny, translucent scrotum mated with the alien inside of the biomechanical exoskeleton from Independence Day, had a baby, and then it somehow sneezed on John Cusack, and that's how we got COVID-19. No, listen, look at this thing. That is what John Cusack looks like. Anyway, we have to read this. This is Hannah Blue. This came out on Breitbart. Far-left actor John Cusack, who has amassed an estimated $50 million net worth in his near 40-year Hollywood career, privilege, this week trashed the United States of America, calling it a effing awful place full of cowards and corporate whores. Like himself. Quote, you ready? I was at a ballpark last night, and they did their Support the Troops ad that conflate Boeing with troops serving while supporting the GOP. That means funding the insurrection, anti-democrat forces, the opposite of what they claim to support. U.S. freedom, the hot tub time machine star said. Last time I checked, Boeing, all right, builds jets and bombers that kill people, right? Which is protecting our country, right? And protecting the troops that are serving while they're fighting in other countries, right? Which the GOP funds, right? Oh, but he's ignoring all the Antifa and everything that happened over the summer. And just that January 6th thing where nobody died except for Ashley Babbitt, right? I'm not counting the police officer that had a stroke, okay? I'm sorry. I'm not. Rest in peace. God bless Sicknick's family, Officer Sicknick, but he had a stroke. Let's get the story straight. His family even wanted to get that straight. This guy is a radical. They preach freedom at baseball games, but back insurrectionist coups and the overturning of elections, ABC, the party that would take away black and brown Americans' right to vote, yet they get to wrap themselves in a flag. He has no idea how black and brown people vote. He has no idea how white people vote. He has no idea how anybody votes because somebody probably votes for him. I'm not saying like they have his mind brainwashed and they vote for him that way. I'm saying he's so rich, he probably has a way that somebody votes for him. That's what I'm saying. He is so out of touch that an ad about loving America and supporting America freaked him out and pissed him off because he hates our military. That's literally what that means. This is had enough yet? He continues in response to a Twitter user who described Boeing as supporting highly inflated, lucrative government contracts and corporate welfare. Boeing supports highly inflated, lucrative contracts and corporate welfare. And then he wrote, they preach, and that was the response. That was the response to this guy. They preach the freedom at the baseball games, but back insurrectionist coups. Shut up. Just shut up, John Cusack. That is a different class structure. All right. John Cusack is an idiot that just makes a lot more money than you and I. And that shelters him from the news that we get. John Cusack's probably never, ever, ever seen footage of what Antifa did in Portland because it just doesn't appear on his phone. And he's too busy and he's too rich to give a crap. And when he spews his opinion, it's based on nothing because he lives in a sheltered world. Just as the person who makes 300,000, 600,000, 900,000, 1.2 million, 1.8 million, they all live in their own bubbles. They don't know what each other do. All right. I'm not saying this to say down with the class structures. I'm trying to explain to you why they're all idiots. They're all idiots because they're insulated. Their cash insulates them. Now, I agree with capitalism. I'm not using that as an ad to say, oh, that's why greed and money and it is bad. No, it's not bad. Sometimes some people are just dumbasses. Sometimes it's as simple as that. That's the answer. It's as simple as some people are idiots. Some people have a lower IQ than other people. Quote, let's call the USA what it is, decadent on the fast track to autocracy, living on the atavistic fumes of World War II generated, of the World War II greatest generation, what is that? TVR, SIC. I don't know what the hell this person is. They're idiots. Actually took on fascism and beat it down. We can't even arrest open criminals in the GOP, nor a mentally ill white supremacist lawless thug. He continues. See, he's just talking crap. He's still, I hate Trump. I hate Trump. Rah, 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 rah. What are you talking about? Why can't we arrest the Antifa people? Why can't we arrest the Black Lives Matter people that burn cities and assault people? Why can't we do that? Oh, those are okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But we can't love our country. We can't be free. We can't require that people have an ID or come in this country legally. What's wrong with that? What do you mean? How is it oppressive if the IDs are free? How is it oppressive? How is enforcing the law oppressive? John Cusack has never had to deal with the law because of the amount of money he has. Plain and simple. All right. What I'm asking people with that amount of money to do is to wake up and educate themselves. John Cusack obviously has not. He has no idea about class structures. He thinks that you and I, living in a world where we can barely afford to pay our bills, live and work and breathe the same air he does, eat the same food does, shit in the same toilets that he does. No, my friends, I've never felt the gold-plated porcelain on my ass. Have you? Folks, he says we aren't great. We aren't even mediocre. We're effing awful, full of cowards and corporate whores. Boeing gets to take out tax dollars, parade our soldiers, wrap themselves in a flag while financially backing fascists, he continues. We have no leaders, no soul, just greed. He wants to like sit in a circle and eat freaking kashi and sing Kumbaya, my lord. Oh, wait, you can't say my lord in that song anymore because you might offend somebody. This guy is a coward. Does that mean he's supposed to be brave? He's what does he want to do? Become the fascist? Become a Hitler to enforce some sort of psychotic mindset that these woke people have spread like a virus through social media and through our institutions? Listen, John Cusack doesn't know anything, just like many of these other people don't know anything. All they know is what they're told. And he is told, all right? He's told that the left is righteous and the right is the devil. This is literally like Bobby Boucher, you know, the water boy. Oh, you shouldn't hang out with the right because the right is the devil. Well, I don't want to hang out with the left anymore, and I like the right. They show me their boobies, and I like them too. That's, hey, don't get mad at me if you've never seen The Waterboy. That's me making fun of a line from The Waterboy. I didn't just go off and have like a seizure and come up with something random. He says, let's see. God, this stuff just makes me want to headbutt my computer screen. Cusack claimed with no specificity that Boeing has been giving money to anti-democratic forces. Open Secrets reveals the company donated more than candidate Joe Biden, $123,186 precisely, than to former President Donald Trump. Additionally, it gave $628,472 to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and $280,445 to the Democrat Senate Majority PAC. Cusack has not attempted to hide his political opinions, essentially identifying nearly a third of Americans as Nazis during a Twitter rant last year. This is another perfect description of somebody who's been radicalized, who's in a different class structure. This is somebody that has all the time in the world. Look, I'm busy. I work. I go to school. I'm paying my bills. I have a family. I'm fighting every day. I don't have time to think about this shit, right? Just like you. All right. Maybe a little more because I'm trying to do this show. But do you think about this? He has all the time. Idle hands, ladies and gentlemen. Idle hands are the devil's playground. He has all this time to say, if Republicans enable a Nazi, that makes them what? That makes them a effing death cult. And he's put 3 Ks like he's comparing it to the KKK. He said if Republicans enable a Nazi, he's apparently comparing Trump to that. That makes us, all of us, what? A death cult. He's ridiculous. He says he didn't say to reconcile with Nazis, just Republican. What is he talking about? So John Cusack thinks we're Nazis. There's entire classes of rich people that think the right are Nazis. All right. These are people that have been brainwashed, Jews and Gentile alike, rich and poor alike, more rich than poor, because the poor people see the writing on the wall. Us folks under a certain tax bracket know what this smells like. All right. This smells like autocracy. This smells like brainwashing. It smells like propaganda. It definitely doesn't smell like Teen Spirit. Sorry, I'm a dad. That was my dad joke. I hope from this episode that you get a little bit of an idea of my ramblings and ravings in regard to this class structure thing. All right. You wonder why they don't get it. You wonder why you can't convince them otherwise. You wonder why they stare at you like you're insane when you try to explain your views to these people, other people on the left that make more money that just don't get it. It's because they have absolutely no frame of reference. Everything and everyone in their life, including the advertisements on their phones, have told them that the left is the best and the right is the devil. Everything in their world. You make no sense to them. It's like you're speaking Egyptian to them. It's like you went through the Stargate and you're trying to speak English to those people on the other side. They just don't get it. So stop wasting your time trying to convince those people of what's true and what's not true, and continue to better yourself, continue to inform yourself, continue to wake people up who are worth waking up. And ladies and gentlemen, that's episode 158. I really hope you liked this episode. I really, it was loosely planned, guys, loosely put together. Sometimes I have bullet points, sometimes I don't. This one's a little bit there and there, but I think I put a point across that makes a lot of sense that some people may not have realized or thought about before, all right? Next time you're talking to these people, think about the different class structures and how you have to speak to that class structure to influence them, to wake them up, to tell them the truth. All right, guys, again, don't forget to check out the sponsor, Life Change Tea. Go to getthetea.com. Promo code James gets you free shipping and handling. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to trying this pomegranate flavor. Also, check out all of our social media. We're on Gab, we're on Parler, we're on MeWe, we're on Twitter, we're shadow banned everywhere as well. American_Reveille, or go in the description section below and click the link. Sign up for the newsletter. Please, 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 if you can, if you enjoy what we do and you find value in it, go into the description section below, click the donate tab. We could use your help. And of course, please, like I said a million times, share, like, subscribe, notification bell, leave a comment, 5-star rating if you're on Apple Podcasts. I appreciate you. I love you all. And I'll see you in episode 159 of the American Reveille podcast. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, and I want to tell you about Life Change Tea. That's right, Life Change Tea. I have a pack of it right here. Listen, as many of you know, I've been working really, really hard to get back in shape, okay? I was thinking lately, right? And you should probably be thinking about it too. With how crazy everything is, with how unstable the government seems, with all of these socialists, all of this leftist insanity. You would just call it insanity. Who knows when the hell I'm going to have to run, or when I'm going to have to, I don't know, save my family from something. I don't know. So I was getting fatter and fatter and fatter, feeling crappier and crappier and crappier. My diet was junk. I started by cleaning up the diet. I've been working out more and more, but I was still bloated. I was still gassy. I was still feeling crappy. And I finally decided to pull out an old trick in the book. All right. Something that I used for weight loss in the past. And I was thinking about a cleanse, right? Maybe take something that would help me evacuate my bowels a little bit, if you know what I mean. But you know, what I found was something different. I found Life Change Tea. All right, www.getthetea.com. I found this Life Change Tea, and instead of a 7-day or a 14-day cleanse, a 3-day cleanse, what they were offering was a daily tea, like a daily delicious iced tea, not some kind of weird hot tea or some kind of nasty tasting thing. No, this was a health supplement. All right, I started reading about it, and they were talking about all these herbs, these ancient herbs, right? Look at this: organic blessed thistle herb, malva leaf, organic marshmallow leaf. I didn't even know what the heck a marshmallow leaf was. Apparently, it's for anti-inflammatory and antioxidants and stuff. I looked some of this stuff up. It's crazy. Milk thistle extract that cleans your liver and kidneys. I mean, there's all these different things in here, but I was happy. I was attracted to it because it was all natural. It was put together in the U.S., right? Obviously, they've got to get spices from these very special places. Not spices, but, you know, these special herbs. They got to get them from special places around the world, but it's all done here. It's packaged, put together, and blended accordingly right here in the USA, all right? And I tried it, and it was delicious. Look at this. I'm old school. I fill a jug. You see this big jug right here? And for those listening over there on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and everything like that, I'm holding this big gallon jug that used to be full of water. See those tea bags floating in the bottom there? This was full, guys. But I've been drinking it every day, twice a day, 8 ounces. Take a listen. Pour it in the glass. Oh yeah, that's not a sound effect. That's real. Yes. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. And mabuhay to all my Filipino friends out there. I have the mint flavor. It's actually really good. I really like it. It's yummy. Look, this stuff's good. I can take that right now. I'm going to do 2 hours of podcast recording after this. It's not like me drinking that's going to send me running to the bed. It's gentle. It's good stuff, all right? So it's got all these herbs. They cleanse you out. They make you regular again. They clean the toxins out of your system. They help you clean the extra waste that's been stored up in the colon, the stuff that's not healthy for you, not good for you. It keeps the bloat down. I don't feel so swollen. You know how you feel like swollen sometimes? Your fingers are... Yeah, you don't feel like that. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. So it's good stuff, guys. Listen, you have to go to getthetea.com. GETTHETEA.com. www.getthetea.com. www.getthetea.com. Promo code James, folks. Promo code James. That'll get you free shipping and handling. It's not expensive. It's good stuff, all right? It helps maintain your health. It cleanses your body from all kinds of toxins, all kinds of things that can cause colds and flus and different things like that. It keeps the bugs out real good. It helps your digestion, all right? Just like I've been saying, my bloats, I feel so much better, guys. I feel so much better. And just in this journey that I'm taking to get back in shape, I really feel like it's helping me immensely. It really is. I really think so. So try it out, guys. Life Change Tea. You just saw me drink a bunch of it. You just saw my almost empty jug. That's, by the way, like the 3rd jug. All right. That's not the first jug. Not the first jug at all. Trust me. It's good stuff, guys. You're not going to be disappointed. You're going to thank me. All right. www.getthetea.com. www.getthetea.com. Get your Life Change Tea. Use the promo code James. Free shipping and handling. Thanks, guys.